There comes a time in your life when you rethink everything you're doing. A quarter-life crisis. I think I had mine when I turned 24. I loved kids and I loved teaching, but times changed so quickly, and new and exciting opportunities were appearing to me like fireworks before my eyes, and I didn't want to miss out on that. I started this cool thing called YouTube back in January 2015, and it was during a time when I needed a space to express myself. I was always a creative person, which is why I love teaching so much. You get that chance to inspire others using your creative skills and abilities, but there was always something missing, and I was only content. And content wasn't going to fly with me. So I kept teaching, and I loved it. I took chances on it. I got sick a lot, but I wanted to see if I could progress or move up or succeed or something, but I always felt stuck in the same exact place up until now. I wasn't moving forward. I wasn't striving for anything here. I wasn't 100% happy, and I realized I needed progression in my life. I had so much inside of me that I needed to just get out. My 20s were my trial years to figure myself out, and I decided I wanted to quit. Feels like good timing. Good morning, everybody. So this video, I'm not sure if it's gonna be long or short, whatever. Today is a work day for me. Woke up a little bit later, so I just hurried and did my hair really fast, and I was studying for my new job, which is going to start in a couple months. But sorry, the microwave is on because I'm making some lunch right now. I'll show you that in a little bit, but we're gonna sit down here for a second. So you guys are probably wondering, oh my god, she's quitting her job, she's gonna go full-time YouTube, which is not the case at all. I am quitting my job. I'm quitting my full-time job where I worked for 6 or 7 years. I was a teacher for a very, very long time. I was a teacher since college. I was teaching as in an internship and during college, and ESL students, if you guys are wondering, and Japanese students who are learning Japanese. I was teaching in a class for that for a few months and just learning on the job, and then I moved to Japan, taught in the JET program, taught at international schools and daycares, and now I've been working at this current company for so long that, you know, I'm just kind of, I'm gonna be 30 soon, and I just want to be able to push myself to work on YouTube, but obviously YouTube is not reliable at all. Like, if you want to be a full-time YouTuber, you have to be really, really, really good at what you do, and it's very, very hard for a lot of people who start later. A lot of YouTubers that start in the earlier years, you know, when YouTube started, they can rely on YouTube and their following, but I feel like nowadays it's so saturated and so difficult to become big on YouTube, I guess. So that's not my goal. My goal is to go ahead with a sort of business plan. I have some ideas of what I want to be and where I want to be in the next 5 years. And I really, really want to be in a place where I'm helping other people transition to Japan. It's because I love this country so much, and I've lived here for so long, and I feel like I have a lot to offer. So that being said, I decided to leave my job only because I am changing to a spouse visa, and I feel like now that I have a spouse visa, I could quit full-time and go part-time, which is what I'm doing, and I'm not working at the same company. I'm working at a different company, and I have to go to an office. I can't stay at home. So I have always had this mindset where I wanted to do something to help other people and to create a business for myself and for my future family. That's what I want. So I'm gonna try. There's no harm in trying. I've been full of fear for the past few years of like, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not smart enough, I have imposter syndrome, like I have all this stuff going on, and I don't want to let that hold me back because I'm getting older now, and like, I don't feel like I'm 30 at all. I feel like I'm 25, but I am gonna be 30, and I do want to have a family, and I really, really want to try to create an environment and a business for myself where I could, you know, actually work from home and do my own thing and help other people at the same time. So what better timing than to do it now? So I have to leave in about an hour, so I'm gonna have to eat lunch now. I had my breakfast, it was a very small breakfast. I had coffee, which I should not have had, but it's organic coffee. And you know, I'm gonna drink it once in a while. I don't think that's gonna hinder my, sorry, you can't see my face. I don't think that's going to hinder my healing process. Today, I feel like that loop is finally coming to an end. It's bittersweet because I never hated what I did. It just turned out that it wasn't for me. Who knows, maybe I'll go back to it someday, but for now, that's not what I want to try, and I needed to start a new chapter in my life. I let fear get in the way of change and almost decided to go another year doing it because I was uncomfortable. But the things that make you the most uncomfortable when you want it so bad is the universe telling you to jump. I said goodbye to loveless Kelly. I married the love of my life, I had a good run with teaching, and it gave me some of the hardest lessons of my life and some of the best experiences of my life, and I wouldn't change it for the world. There's nothing wrong with sticking to being a teacher. It could be the best time of your life until you retire. A lot of people here are teachers for life, so don't think because I'm quitting that means it wasn't worth it. Because it was. I think if I continued with it, I'd be the type to start my own school. But the direction I want to go isn't that. Find your passion, make the decision, and do it. No excuses. It's as simple as that.
I look like who did it and what for.
Guess who I work with?
Now we gain views, yeah. This is what they're interested in.
My husband made me, well, his parents sent us this. This looks so good. Oh my god. Favorite sashimi. And Ryuji made some mizutaki.
Yes.
What the heck?
Broccoli too.
That looks so good.
And spinach.
How did you make this?
And konjac noodle.
How'd you make the broth?
It's the kombu, and I use this thing. It's like from chicken bones.
Oh, it's not
there's
anything?
No sugar or anything, baby. Trust me.
No.
Yeah, it's all good. You are good.
Okay, so it's another day. I'm so busy to the point where I just cannot get anything done. Like, I cannot. Mental health and work is real. Like, it's never felt this overworked in my whole entire life. But I know that it's gonna get better in a couple months because I'll be leaving and I'll be able to focus on that one job. So I just really wanted to quickly talk about, for like 10 minutes, about my teaching journey and where I'm at now with everything and how I felt about teaching throughout my whole entire 20s. So as some of you guys may know, I studied education in college. That I was in the education program. I studied secondary education, which is mostly junior high school and high school, but I really loved working with kids, so all of it was really great. I was an intern for a Japanese teacher, so I was teaching high school kids Japanese, and then I was teaching ESL students from all over the world, and it was really, really interesting, the whole experience when I was in the States. And then I moved to Japan for the purpose of teaching, so this is what I wanted to do. Like, that was my dream, was to teach in Japan. So I feel like other people that come to Japan and just get a teaching job because they feel like they have to, it might be a little bit more difficult of a transition than somebody that really loves teaching and education. But I'm gonna say this, that when you teach in Japan, there is no raise, usually. There's no raises at the end of the year, there's rarely any bonuses, there's rarely any benefits and things like that, which is an issue. I don't know about in the States, but I know that in the States, it's very difficult, that job. It's low paying, there's a lot of unfairness for teachers in the States, so I know it's also very hard. So I'm not gonna compare it to the States. I've actually never I never had my own classroom in the States. I was always an assistant or teaching as an intern and things like that. So I can't really speak for teachers in the United States. Do I think that this whole thing was worth it? Yes, but only because I loved the kids. It was the only thing that made me feel good, going to the classes and seeing the kids. I taught at an international school, so I taught very young kids from babies to like 5-year-olds. And then, you know, my current job, which I've been with for 6 years now, I teach from age 0, like baby mommies. And you don't teach the babies, you teach the mothers how to speak English to their babies. And I teach all the way up until like 13 years old. So I've been doing this job for 6 years, and I stayed at this company for that long because I liked, you know, the way they taught. I liked their method and everything like that. I'm not gonna go into detail about it because I'd rather keep that to myself. That's my privacy and that's my life, and I don't really wanna share every little thing. But I think a lot of jobs are very similar to what I've experienced. The time off was really good. I had a good amount of holidays, which I loved. It made us feel mentally stable throughout the job, because when you're teaching kids, it's a hard job. But most companies don't understand sometimes how taxing it is on a teacher and their bodies and their mind. And you know, you always in any company run into people that just don't get it. Now that my health has declined so much, I'm getting older, I want to have my own family someday. I really want to focus on my brand, so the reason why I'm leaving is because I want to do something different. Like, I feel like I'm in that part of my life where I'm like, I've done that and I loved it. Now I want to move on to something different. I can't physically do it anymore right now because of my health. So this is a good decision to make. It all is preference when it comes to teaching in Japan. Some people come here, they expect it to be a certain way, and then they don't like it or they complain like crazy. It's a hard job. If you're going into teaching kids, it's a hard job. And when you're teaching adults, it's a little bit easier. But I don't want to teach adults because as a woman, I'm gonna be real about this, like, I don't feel safe teaching adults, especially adult men. My friends have gone through so many traumatizing problems with that because a lot of men just think it's a date. And that's the issue with teaching adults. For me, I'd rather just teach women and kids. That's my preference, and that's what I feel comfortable doing. I feel like kids are just more fun, and kids are funny, and they make you laugh, and they make you feel loved, and they're just so innocent. And I just wanted to keep at it, but it is very exhausting and mentally and physically exhausting, and I just need to stop for a while. So is it worth it? For me, yes, teaching in Japan was worth it, and I learned a lot and I experienced a lot, but it's not pushing me forward in any way. I'm kind of like someone that wants to progress into something. So when you come to Japan and you teach, you have to come into that mindset like, is this what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, or is this something that I want to, you know, do for a while and then change to something else? You have to kind of think that. There's no way you're going to know for sure, but at least kind of prep your mind and prep your goals before you move to Japan and you teach, and have no expectations. The whole experience in teaching is completely different, and there's a lot of things that are wrong in the education world, and there's a lot of things that are right in the education world in Japan. I'll talk about that in another video, but public schools are very different compared to just like eikaiwa, which is basically schools specifically for English. Wherever you are, you're gonna have a very different experience. I would go into it with an open mind. Don't complain about everything. Do your job. And, you know, just take note of what's going on in Japan and the education world. This is how they do things, and I won't regret any of it. I loved working at public schools. I think there's a lot of things that need to be changed and updated, but I loved working in the public schools because you got to experience what the kids do on a daily basis. You got to eat with them, you got to chat with them. There was a lot that I loved doing in a public school compared to a English language school. It's not as structured in public schools. It's a little bit more free. I think if you're a ALT, which is an assistant language teacher, you're doing less, which can be pretty boring, but it's fun to observe what it's like to be a student and seeing those kids do what they do, it's just very inspiring, and they work very hard, and you have to go into it with a positive mindset and just not complain, because this is what she wanted. He wanted to be in Japan, and you're teaching, so this is your job. You have to just go into it without being negative, because then you're gonna have a miserable time, and that's all I'm gonna say. There's a lot that's going on. I still have to change my visa. I'm doing taxes right now. I'm working like 3 jobs. It's very hard, but I'm excited about it because I know that in the end it's all gonna be worth it. By the end of March, I'll be in a comfortable place and I'll be healing more. There will be more content coming soon. And I hope that you guys will understand that I'm only gonna be posting a video a week. I don't know what day. It's not a very consistent thing, but I will be posting a video once a week until I'm into the swing of my new job. So I appreciate everything that you guys do for me, and I appreciate all of you guys that watch and are rooting for me and everything, because these past couple years have been very difficult for me, and I'm so determined to get better and heal, and I'm so determined to change my job and go for what I want in my life, because I'm still young. I'm 29. I'm ready for this, and I know that I can do it, so that's why I'm pushing myself so hard. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys in a little bit.